Morning, everyone. My name's Bill. This is Pirate Solutions Forestry, and we're about to have a very rainy day here on Cape Cod. I cut up a couple of logs, a few logs, that I need to cut in order tomorrow morning. So I got them all staged on the log loader and ready to go. But that's not what's going to happen today. What I'm doing is I'm inside editing a video, which is a review on the LiuGong excavator that I used to load the chipper that Paul Moskovsky lent me. It's a 9051 FZTS. And I'm going to throw a bunch of clips in and a review. There's going to be a review at the end. It's going to talk price, horsepower, comparison to Cat 305 style machine. And I didn't like the intro, so I'm reshooting one. So that's where we are. That's what's going on. You get to see some clips from the chipping and the LiuGong running, and let's get into the video. Good afternoon, YouTube. We are getting ready to chip basically all my slab wood. And my friend Paul Moskovsky at Moskovsky Landscaping, and if you're in Massachusetts and you have a bunch of landscaping to do and you want the best of the best, Paul Moskovsky is your guy. Miskovsky. He's down in Falmouth, Massachusetts. He wins all the flower shows. He's got the best vision of anybody I've ever seen. But what we need to do is Ralph Alfieri Tree Service, Alfieri Tree Service down in Cape Cod, is coming to chip all my stuff for me. And he's got a big 20-inch chipper. And because we have so much slab wood, I wanted to load it with an excavator, and Paul was nice enough to drop me off a 305 Cat compatible excavator. He's always had Cats, and this is some sort of LiuGong thing, supposedly the size of a 305, and we're going to use this to load Ralph's chipper. So right now what I'm doing is I'm getting a path back to my back slab wood for Ralph, and I'm going to try out this LiuGong, and we're going to see how it goes here. I'm going to flip you around, and we're going to go up and we're going to see if we can lift up this 20-foot long white pine, this monster, with this thing, because I would like to have an excavator around the mill yard for loading big logs on the mill without disturbing the mill. I don't know what size I need, because if this won't lift a big log, I can load big logs with my Bobcat. I can load anything I have in my yard with the Bobcat, but it's tough on the mill without being able to place it down. So the question is, grapple for the Bobcat, my T650, or whether I get an excavator that I can do a little more with. But if it won't pick up this big log, it's not worth it. So I'll spin around, I'll show you the log. Get you flipped around facing. Sorry, I don't have my mics on. So that is the log that we're going to lift right there. We're going to try to. It's a pretty big one. And we're going to go ahead and yank up and around the side of it here. A little curl. I would seriously doubt this is going to lift this log. So, a little curl under. Nope, I take it back. Nope, come on. Throw it under. No, I take it back. This will lift this log. No kidding. Wow. Nope, gonna fall. That's pretty incredible, actually. I'm actually pretty impressed with that. I'm gonna back up. Pick it back up. So I'll get a little more centered this time. granted, I've been running excavators and backhoes and stuff like that since I was a kid. However, I do not run them every day. Yeah, that picks it up, no problem. Nice. Because everything's computerized now, you kind of just get in and whatever controls my eyes want to see. Typically, I run left hand swing and boom, and right hand dipper and curl and extend on the bucket. So he said that was John Deere controls, but I think that's kind of standard controls. At least I was taught on standard controls. We used to have to change machines over to John Deere for people that wanted to run John Deere controls. Well, the travel thing is going to kill me. So, yeah, we'll pick up that log. That's interesting. Shove it back. Alright, put it back in the pile. Now we're going to travel out back. Let's see if it curls the thumb with just regular curl. Nope, it doesn't. It doesn't overpower the thumb. That's sweet. Alright, I'm going to get... I'm going to insert a bunch of random clips from the chipping here. Be kind to me. I was learning the chipper. And stay tuned to the end for a walk around of the machine and then a review on the computer of all the specs.
What are you doing, hon?
Making chips.
The before.
So Ralph Alfieri from Alfieri Tree Service, and if you need a great tree service on Cape Cod, Massachusetts, or in the adjoining area, look up Ralph Alfieri, Alfieri Tree Service, ALFIERI Tree Service. The guy's great. Came by, and the two of us this morning, took 40 yards of chips out of my slab wood pile. He had to run off for noontime to one of his kids' sporting events, so we stopped. But the good part is that I still have all of my seasoned hardwood over here, or most of it. We did chip a bunch of red oak and some softwood left over. He's going to bring me a rake grapple bucket for my bobcat, so I can kind of sift through this and move all this pile. It's going, if you see the slab wood over there, it's going over there, so it's much, much closer to the front of my operation, so they can just back in and we can chip some and they can take it. But we ran 2 full chip trucks out of here using the LiuGong excavator, which is a Cat 305 size, feeding it. Ralph was a little better than me, a lot better than me at loading the chipper. I was kind of worried about smashing into his chipper, so he was a lot better at loading it. So I ran the chipper and he ran the excavator, and he did a terrific job. We really knocked these piles down a lot. Like I said, we took 2 full truckloads out in 2 hours, so it was 40 yards of chips. And that cleans up this area a lot, and we're going to get it cleaned up more, and then we'll start taking firewood out of here for this coming season. I have all seasoned hardwood over here, plus logs and stuff that are buried under that, and then softwood over here, and we will start making that into firewood for next season. So I do apologize for being off mics right now, but they're inside the house, and I want to shoot this and just be done for the day. I've already done my work for today. So this is the LiuGong that we used to load all the slab wood. As you can see, hydraulic thumb. It's got a Geeth bucket. I want to talk about it a little bit, just because it was lent to me by Paul Moskovsky Landscape. If you're looking for the greatest landscaper on the planet, Paul Moskovsky's the one you want to call. You're looking for funky, cool, organic outside stuff. He is the best in the industry. He lent it to me. I do work for him on all of his equipment, saws and stuff like that, and I've got a bunch in my shop right now to fix up for him. And also I do building for him outside in real funky projects, real high-end, funky, weird projects. Very organic, organic handrails and walkways and slabs and things like that. But this machine, I was really impressed. I will admit, I sold and ran Kobelco excavators when I was younger, when Kobelco first came out. And Kobelco makes a terrific product. But other than that, I've really only run American-made products. Cats, Cases, John Deere, things like that. This one in particular, let's look at what the model is. It is a LiuGong 905. We worked for 2 hours this morning solid with it running. We used no fuel. It just used next to nothing. The hydraulics on this are seamless. The one complaint I've always had about, especially some of the smaller Chinese excavators, is that they don't have enough hydraulic pumps. So when you're running, say when you're traveling, if you go to swing, it'll start curving off to one side because it's scavenging oil away from the travel. This thing, you can run all the hydraulics all the time. It doesn't scavenge. Everything is seamless. It's very, very smooth. It's super powerful. If you didn't watch my short video on picking up that 20-foot log white pine out front. Picked up that 20-foot, like 28-inch around white pine out front. So obviously it's got plenty of power. I'm not going to show you inside the cab because it's got all the comfort features that you get in anything else. You know, it's got the AC, it's got a radio, it's computerized. I was running what turns out that I don't know how over my lifetime now I'm more comfortable running John Deere controls, but I was running the John Deere controls when Ralph got here and he said, get the hell out of that excavator. I'm going to start loading the chipper because I was too slow. When he jumped in the excavator, he needed it switched over to standard controls or the ISO controls. I was able to go into the computer and switch them. So the computer is simple. When they brought it to me, they said, hey, what controls do you want to run? Because it's kind of a pain in the ass to change the controls over. I didn't really have a hard time. It was off the main menu. I had to go down 1 or 2 lines into the bottom of it to find it. You have to have the machine off, and you have to have the hydraulic cutout up to switch them out. But I was able to seamlessly switch between the controls because when I tried to run the ISO controls, I hated it. Running the dipper on my left hand, it just wasn't intuitive. My brain was telling me to do one thing and the excavator was doing another. So when Ralph was emptying the chip truck and I was neatening up the pile, I would switch it back over to the John Deere controls, and then when he was coming back, I switched it back to ISO for him, and he operated it perfectly. Very, very smooth, not jumpy at all, in close to the chipper, loading the hopper, you know, where your tolerances are really tight. You've got a big chunk of crap and you're kind of feeding it into the chipper and you're inside the hopper and stuff like that. Ralph was able to, for his first time running it, was able to operate it without damaging anything, wasn't banging into the hopper. Very, very smooth. I was ridiculously impressed with it. So I don't know, you'd have to look up what the price is on this versus a Cat 305, which is basically what it is. But I'm sure that this is significantly cheaper. I don't know what the price difference is. I will look it up, and I will probably put one of those little things that go, you know, the titles that goes up in the border that lets you know this much versus this much. But for me, around the wood yard here and working around the house and always doing projects, wanting an excavator, I think this would do everything that I need it to do. You know, there are times when I get logs in that are just so big that you need really big equipment to pick it up. Now, my Bobcat T650 is an absolute monster. That thing will pick up 5,000–6,000 pounds and travel around with it over its head. Now, do I think this would pick up 5,000–6,000 pounds? No, I don't. But I don't think the Cat would either. I've done a lot of work down at Paul's with his 305 before he bought this. And, you know, you're limited to what you can pick up in the smaller size excavator like this is. And, you know, to jump up from here, you'd have to jump up. You know what I mean? Price-wise, size-wise, towing, transporting, things like that. It's a pretty good sized jump. But for an excavator for this size, I don't know what the price is, but I will look it up for you. Let's just say that it's in that $50,000–$60,000 range. This is a real home run for that kind of money. I was really super impressed. If I had to give it any downside, in Turtle, it's really slow traveling, and in high speed traveling it was a little jumpy. But other than that, really super powerful machine. When you put that the dozer blade down on it, when you put the grading blade down on it, and you push stuff with that grading blade, and the grading blade articulates both directions and up and down. It was ridiculously powerful. I couldn't believe that I could put it down to level the machine up if I was working over that end to keep me from getting tippy. And I didn't even have to pick it up to travel. I mean, it would just carve into the ground if I just went forward. Really, for lack of better terms, super impressed with it. So that's kind of what's going on. 40 yards of chips out of here today. I'm moving my slab wood pile over to, if you look over here, as you drive into my yard here, that's where my slab wood pile is going from now on. I'm going to keep it nice and neat, and we'll be able to chip it from time to time so it doesn't get out of control. Give you a look around this little LiuGong here. I mean, look at the size of the hydraulic cylinder on the grading bucket. I mean, this is a pretty serious grading bucket here. This is no joke. Look at the H-frame on it. Big, huge hydraulic cylinder, 4-way. This is a nice machine. Really is. I can't say enough about it, and I wouldn't say it was nice if I didn't think it was nice. Don't know exactly. I wonder if I can get into the engine compartment here. Let's see what it runs for an engine. Because I honestly don't know. Kind of looks like a Kubota. Everything on it looks Kubota-ish. Got the big fuel water separator here is the only thing that doesn't really look Kubota-ish to me, but the engine looks, just looking where the belts are, the fan, it got the fuel pump on this side, it looks very Kubota-ish to me. Location of the air filter, oh, that's the air filter there. I don't know what that is, not sure. Can see that it looks like it's got a turbo on it, so I'm not sure what that is, but that's the air filter there. But it does look very Kubota-ish, so looks pretty simple to service it. I mean, everything's kind of like right here. Doesn't look like anything's crazy. Of course, everything is in, looks like Chinese Han for writing. All Chinese Han on the, well, there's a couple of words I recognize on there. I see high efficiency. But yeah, I'm kind of pretty impressed with it, to be honest with you. Let's put this thing down. Hold on, let me get you back here. You know, having only run, really, I'm not a small excavator guy. For the most part, working out in the field in my younger life, when I was in the construction equipment business, all I've ever really worked with are big excavators. Until I got my Bobcat T650, I was always a big dozer guy and front end loader guy, and really never worked with much small equipment. And running this thing was, I mean, for lack of better terms, it really felt like you were in a much bigger machine. I guess that's the way I can put it, is it felt like you were in a much bigger machine, that it could definitely picks way above what I would believe it would pick. And it was fast, it was smooth, it was seamless. There was no cutout, you know, if you were swinging and putting the boom down or traveling and swinging or something like that. Hydraulics all work seamlessly. It must have, you know, I don't know all the specs on it, but it must have a bunch of hydraulic pumps. It must have really good hydraulic flow to do what it did, because typically the biggest problem is scavenging when you're running multiple operations at the same time, and this one seemed to do it like you felt like you were in a big excavator, really. I mean, for lack of better terms. All right, guys, I'm going to throw this in here too. I'm inside the house now. I probably apologize for the audio, but a couple of things. I went in and did a little research on the LiuGong 905. It is a 9051 FZTS is what the machine is. And I know that I call it 305 compatible, or that's what the LiuGong dealer says, is that it's a Cat 305 compatible. The interwebs here, whatever this thing is, says that they're not exactly across, but the specs are similar across the board. So I think it is a 305 compatible machine. As I go through a couple of things, number one, it's a Yanmar engine in it. It's not a Kubota. It's 47.6 horsepower. I did the conversions on the kilowatts and kilograms and everything else. It's an 11,500 pound machine. To give you some comparable specs to a 305 Cat is a 12,600 pound machine, but it's only 45 horsepower. The price on these two machines, a basic price, is the LiuGong 905-1 is around a $60,000 machine, and the Cat is around a $90,000 machine. I actually saw a listing for a 2025 Cat 305 for $105,000. So it's not quite half as much, but it's a chunk less. Let's just breeze through. So this is the LiuGong site here on the 905-1 FZTS excavator. Says it's 48 horsepower, 11,420 on the weight. Digs maximum depth 11.5 depth. Yanmar is the engine is a 4TNV86CT PLY. I don't know. It's a Yanmar. I remember when I was in the construction equipment business, my father was one of the first people that brought Yanmar into the United States. And I put together, I cannot tell you how many. I really can't. I would get them in crates and put them together. We sold Yanmar farm tractors, the small ones. And I put together, if I said hundreds, that would probably cover it. But, you know, that's all I did all day as a kid around the construction equipment business, was take crates of Yanmars that came in and put them together. And of course, you know, then we would have to go out to farmers and try to convince them that this Chinese machine was good enough to run on your farm versus, you know, back then, John Deere, or Alice Chalmers, or you name it, but, or International, all those. LiuGong 905-1 boasts a robust engine, advanced hydraulic system, providing you with the power you need to tackle a wide range of digging, lifting, earth-moving tasks with impressive digging depth and reach capacities. This excavator allows you to take a project of varying complexities with ease and efficiency. This is off their site. Equipped with state-of-the-art technology and ergonomic controls, LiuGong 905-1 ensures precise operation even in confined spaces. The intelligent hydraulic system user-friendly interface enables you to achieve accurate digging and placement, enhancing productivity while reducing operator fatigue. Interesting take. When you're bouncing around an excavator all day, you're going to get fatigued. It's not like you're out digging holes, but whether you're involved in construction, excavation, landscape, or other heavy-duty applications, the LiuGong 905-1 adapts to your needs. Its adaptable design and range of available attachments makes it a versatile addition to your fleet, helping complete tasks efficiently and effectively. It does have a quick attach too. I didn't say that in the video, but it had the Geel bucket and a quick attach. Cost effective. And it certainly is cost effective. Costs less than an F-250. This machine costs less than a Ford F-250. Think about that for a second. Now, I know, and I'm just going to say this in closing. I understand in today's political climate and everything that's going on that, you know, we've got this kind of battle with China and everything else. And I'm not in that battle, guys. What I'm doing is I'm trying to tell you my experience with running this machine that was lent to me from a guy who has bobcats and caterpillars. And I've run his cats. And I'm not a small excavator guy. So this is kind of my first experience running or being able to compare one small excavator against another, because I don't know anything about any of the other ones. So if somebody wants to say, well, you know, such and such is better, well, that's great. I'm glad you've run them. I haven't. I've only run in small excavators, and I'm talking about sub 40,000 pound excavators, because I'm not a small excavator guy. I've only run the cat versus this. That's it. So that's my only comparison. And I just wanted to get you some of the specs. It is an LiuGong, I'll say LiuGong, 9051 FZTS is what the model number is. And I'll list that in the video description. But, you know, Yanmar engine, the things are proven, especially in marine applications. In marine applications, they're way up there on the food chain. They run and run and run. I've got a Kubota in my Bobcat, which is a terrific engine. And you know, this is my impression of running it for a short time, coming from a guy who's only run machines that could pick that up. That I could load that on the trailer with machines that I normally or am familiar with. So the excavators that I'm familiar with, I could chain that up, hook it up, pick it up, put it on the trailer, you know, kick it down the road. But I was really impressed with it, guys. So I just want to throw that in here, and I'm going to put that in the video, and take it for what it is. And it's Pirate Solutions out.